What's up, everybody? It's the Outlaw John Rocha here with my non-spoiler review for Wakanda Forever, this second installment in the Black Panther franchise. Been waiting to see this one for quite some time. A bunch of delays, and of course, the untimely passing of Chadwick Boseman contributed to us having to wait a little while to get this one. But in my opinion, this was well worth the wait. This is a non-spoiler review. Before I dive too deep into this, I want to say that off the bat. I will be talking some plot points that I've seen in other reviews to make sure I don't cross that line for some of you who don't want anything spoiled. So I'm going to be adhering to that as we go along. But I'm trying to be overall general in my discussion of this movie. Before I jump into it, though, I want you all to please subscribe to the channel down below. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell button, so you see when we're dropping all the content we do here on the Outlaw Nation channel. Head on over to Twitch. Follow me there, the Outlaw Nation, all one word. And the Patreon, patreon.com/John Rocha. All right, well, this Wakanda Forever comes to us from writer-director Ryan Coogler, of course, reuniting with some of the actors from the first movie: Letitia Wright, Angela Bassett, Luipta Nyong'o, Danai Gurira, Winston Duke, Martin Freeman, all coming back to reprise their roles in this film. But we've got some great new additions coming into the cast. Dominique Thorne here as RIRI Williams, basically introducing Ironheart into the MCU. And of course, we get Tenoch Huerta coming in as Namor. And the basic premise of this movie is pretty simple, even though it leads to some very complex situations. Basically, the whole world wants vibranium. Wakanda has the vibranium. The whole world calls out Wakanda because of the end of at the end of Black Panther. You saw T'Challa say that they will be opening up their doors and sharing the vibranium and sharing their resources with the rest of the world. Well, that hasn't happened. And with the death of T'Challa, which the film very much deals with, the world has become antsy for the vibranium. They've created machines to hunt and look for vibranium outside of Wakanda. And this causes problems with the Wakandans. And then eventually Namor gets involved in this. Namor wants to create an alliance with the Wakandans to stop the outside world from getting the vibranium, and wants to essentially enlist Shuri with him and Queen Ramonda with him to stop the outside world from ever getting vibranium by destroying it. And complicating all of this is everybody in Wakanda dealing with the loss of T'Challa and his impact on their lives. And it's predominantly women: Queen Ramonda, Shuri, Okoye, Nakia, and yes, a little bit of M'Baku, but mostly focused on those four women as they deal with the loss of T'Challa, while they're also dealing with this new threat to the world and possible new threat to Wakanda in Namor. So overall, I'll start off by saying that I absolutely loved the movie. Really enjoyed what the movie had to say to us about the journey of loss and grief and anger and frustration, leading to eventually acceptance if you're going to move on from that loss, and how you have to go through this process in order to come out of it, that you can't hide from it or run from it or escape from it. You have to go through it in order to come out the other side of it, having learned the lessons, having become a different person, having accepted that loss, and having it shape your life going forward. Also, there's another theme here running through this movie that I think is really powerful, and it's this idea of black and brown people trying to work together and seeing that the outside world wants to pit them against each other. And that comes through very powerfully throughout this movie. You can see the progression of how this all happens and how the implication and the accusations they're coming from predominantly white people in power towards the people of color in both the Tulukan world and the world of Wakanda there, because they are afraid of what these people of color might do to the outside world with the vibranium. And that comes through very powerfully throughout the movie, and I appreciate that from Ryan Coogler. So let's get into the things that I liked about the movie. You know, I like to start with the acting, and I'll start there. Angela Bassett delivers one powerhouse of a performance. Seen some reviews call her Shakespearean. I think that's 100% accurate in every best sense of that word. She brings so much power and ferocity and emotion to her performance here throughout this whole movie. You are connected to Queen Ramonda in very deep ways, and she shakes you rather to your core as you're watching her performance throughout the movie. Letitia Wright, I think, does an exceptional job through a majority of the film. Are there some moments where I think she's not 100% there, because maybe this is just a little bit beyond her emotional depth in certain moments? Yes, but there's not that many, and for the most part she really nails it, and I enjoy watching her. And Ryan Coogler gives her a large amount of this movie to carry on those shoulders of hers, and I think she delivers one heck of a performance. Tenoch Huerta is absolutely glorious here as Namor. Really enjoyed the subtle, strong, relaxed, composed performance that he brings to his Namor. You can tell how much love he has for his people, how much love he has for them as he sees them as extension of his family. It's all there. But when he has to turn on the arrogance and the ferocity and the ruthlessness of Namor that we know from the comic books, it is chilling to see. Luipta Nyong'o and Danai Gurira do exceptional work here. Luipta Nyong'o in a different, more emotional, distant role here. She's navigating the loss of T'Challa from a little bit of a distance. We find out why she's kind of kept her distance from Wakanda in dealing with the loss of T'Challa. With Danai Gurira, we see her taking that on. Remember, she was there when he blipped. She was there when he dissolved right in her hands. So the fact that he dies yet again, while she's alive, how much that affects her is very deep, and her becoming connected to Shuri and wanting to help Shuri kind of deal with the loss of T'Challa as well. And that leads to some very emotional scenes that Danai Gurira absolutely knocks out of the park. There's a scene between her and the Queen that will wreck you when you watch the back and forth between both of them, that I thought was an exceptional scene that stood out in this movie for sure. There are some surprises and a couple of cameos. I'm not going to ruin anything, but there are some surprises and a couple of cameos. And when they show up, they're fantastic performances. Martin Freeman is really good as well. I really enjoyed seeing him be a part of this yet again. Such a nice part of this Black Panther franchise, having him come in and do the things that he's done. I think the script here works really well. I think there's so much that is laid out here in terms of the exploration of grief and acceptance after a loss, but also this idea of feeling the pressure of the outside world wanting to take the resources from you. Of course, we know that from the history of the world, that empires have always gone into these countries to take their resources for themselves and leave them completely destroyed. So this fear, as it builds throughout the movie, and the anger that elicits from Namor and a little bit of the Wakandans as well, is well warranted, and you are caught as a viewer wondering how they're going to navigate this, how they're going to get out of this. But overall, I thought the story worked really well, hit the plot points where they're supposed to hit them, hit the emotional beats where they're supposed to hit them as well. And I thought that was a very good calling card for the movie. Ryan Coogler doing an excellent job directing this film. I'm telling you, this is an epic. He directed this film like an epic. It feels like an epic. It has that vibe of an epic. His usage of the camera when it comes to the action sequences, when it comes to the quieter moments, when it comes to the relationship moments, all of that works so well here. And just to give a little more of a shout out of the script, the relationships that we know from the first movie get deepened even more here in the interactions. We feel like we've been with these characters for such a long time, and it's great to feel these relationships progress and change and grow in ways that are unexpected here in the film. And I thought that was a nice thing to see in this film as well. The cinematography, as I mentioned earlier, want to give some love to Autumn Durald Arkapow. What visuals that you discover when you go down underwater and seeing their world, seeing their cities, seeing the different looks of everybody in there, and then seeing the visuals overall underwater are just incredible, and only matched by the Wakandan visuals. There are some new locations, new places we go. We do revisit some other places as well, but it's so well shot and framed. The burial scenes for T'Challa are just absolutely devastating to witness. Everything that happens in Wakanda, and we see the progression and the different places we go to, all of it just very gorgeous in how they capture that entire world there of Wakanda, as well as the underwater world there. Another thing I liked about the film is Ludwig Göransson's score. It's just another example of how great of a composer Ludwig Göransson is. From the softer, quieter moments where these relationships are deepening, where this pain is being talked about and examined and explored, where this fear is revealed, and then when we see the ferocity of Namor, the true power of the Tulakan people, how that score kicks in is just going to absolutely rock your rib cages. And Ruthie Carter's costumes, for God's sakes, I cannot go forward with this review without mentioning Ruthie Carter's costumes, which are just gorgeous and jaw-dropping, from all the different ways that the Tulakan people wear their different outfits and different costumes. The first time you see them come on land and see them confront who they're confronting, again, no spoilers, they're confronting, it's incredible to see the Mesoamerican influences throughout the costumes that Ruthie Carter does here. And of course, even more of the Wakandan costumes. You see in the trailer, everybody all in white. And when that scene happens, you're just like, wow. It works so well throughout the film, and seeing all the different new Wakandan looks and costumes and clothes all of it is just gorgeous to look at. Now, to get into some of the things that maybe I didn't like too much in the movie, I do feel it's a little bit over long. It's about 10 to 15 minutes long. There are probably cuts you could have done here. And it's ironic because I'll say what my other thing is about that I didn't like about the movie is I thought some of the other side characters weren't fleshed out enough. I did enjoy seeing RIRI Williams come into the MCU. I think Dominique Thorne, I wasn't 100% impressed cutting out of this film with her as an actress. I think there's going to be more to see, more to explore with her in IRONHEART for sure. But there wasn't enough backstory here that was delivered with her. Even though we got some really fun scenes with her, would have liked to have seen just a little bit more stuff in her background to kind of ground her into this story. M'Baku as well, I felt like Winston Duke didn't get enough time on screen. Would have liked to have seen a bit more with him for sure. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more with Tenoch Huerta's right-hand people. Would have liked to explore them a bit more and have some more time with them, get to know their characters, get to know their history, their stories, their families. So look, it's a 2 hour, 40-minute film. So you're like, where are you going to move all that? I don't know. It's tough to say. Just felt like would have liked just a little bit more of those characters to have some more background to them and some more life to them that would have been fun as well. But yeah, I do think it's a little bit long. There's probably some stuff you could have cut out of it. And the ending seems to go a little bit longer than you anticipate. There is a mid-credit scene that you definitely have to stay for. That's a bit of a shocking moment. So don't leave too early. I didn't have any post-credit scenes, so I don't anticipate any post-credit scenes when you go see it this weekend. So you don't have to stick around all the way to the end. But there is a mid-credit scene for sure. So overall, I give this film 4.5 cowboy hats out of 5 cowboy hats. Wakanda Forever is a devastating, moving piece of cinema, exploring the journey of loss, grief, anger, and acceptance. It's a truly poignant film, honoring the legacy of Chadwick Boseman and T'Challa, a visually sumptuous, nearly 3-hour movie that presents two proud cultures with the respect, legacy, and attention to detail that they deserve. Angela Bassett and Letitia Wright deliver powerhouse performances that reach deep into your soul, while Tenoch Huerta brings the right combo of tenderness and care for his people and the arrogance and ferocity that Namor demands. The costumes, score, songs, and visuals absolutely qualify this one as an epic. Ryan Coogler has leveled up this franchise from his first installment in 2018. There will be much to discuss about this movie in the weeks and the years to come. That's my overall thoughts on this film, and I hope you guys get a chance to see it this weekend. I know ticket sales have been through the roof, and they're already predicting a $365 million global opening for this movie, so I hope you all get a chance to see it. If you do, let me know what you thought about it in the comments section below. Hit a like on this video, share it on your social media, and put that hashtag The Outlaw Nation so people come and hang out and enjoy the stuff we do here on the Outlaw Nation. Speaking of the Outlaw Nation, make sure you subscribe to the channel down below. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell button so you can drop all the content we do here on the Outlaw Nation channel. Head on over to Twitch, follow me there, the Outlaw Nation, all one word on Twitch, and the Patreon, patreon.com/John Rocha. All right, take care of yourselves. Be well. Look for my spoiler review coming out later this week and my spoiler review of the Geek Buddies, which we might be doing either this weekend or early next week, breaking everything down and talking about it with all of you live here on the Outlaw Nation. All right, take care, be well, and I'll see you next time.